Hey guys, what's up? Once again welcome to Movie Buzz Limited. The film starts, and we see a young lady who is meandering on the coastline. She sees a bag there, and when she opens it, she is vomited by its smell since inside it, somebody's removed hand happens to it. Presently, the story returns 10 years. Also, we will learn here whose hand it was and what has been going on with it. What's more, for what reason did it work out? Afterward, we see a young lady named Melanie, who functioned as a server in a lodging. Furthermore, was likewise concentrating on nursing. One day a man comes to her who is filling in as a server with her. He is Bill and he requests that she go out for supper with him. Presently, Melanie likewise realizes that he as of now has a companion. Yet, she actually prepares to go with him. They invest a great deal of energy in the club, and they mess around. In the interim, Bill starts to comprehend Melanie very well for him, since he was bringing in a ton of cash in the games. Also, he felt that she was extremely fortunate to him. Be that as it may, Melanie likewise began to cherish Bill. At the point when she educates her companion concerning this, she says that Bill isn't great in any way. He is now hitched and he is very much like that he places everybody as would be natural for him. Yet, Melanie was not prepared to figure out anything. She says that I will transform him, he will change with my adoration. In like manner, time elapsed rapidly, and Bill and Melanie both live in a similar house. At some point, a lady comes to Melanie who is no other person except for Bill's better half. She says my better half is definitely not a decent individual. He traps each young lady in his adoration and cheats with them. However, Melanie was not prepared to pay attention to her. Afterward, Bill additionally comes there, and the two of them request that that lady go from that point. Since following a couple of days they plan to get hitched. Additionally, 5 years pass along these lines and the two of them had two youngsters. Melanie was a medical caretaker in a generally excellent emergency clinic. What's more, Bill was an educator at the college, their lives were going quite well. In any case, Melanie needed to change her home, which might have happened when both had cash. Since Bill had not surrendered his everyday practice at this point, he actually went to the club and messed around, he actually made a young lady his companion. Melanie before long figures out that he is undermining her. Furthermore, she likewise gets a young lady's number from him, on which his name was likewise composed. The following day, when she goes to the clinic, a young lady of that name came to her for an exam. What's more, she requests him in the center from the discussion. Thus, she figures out that she is from Bill's college. In the wake of paying attention to this, she went off the deep end. That in the wake of getting to know one another, Bill was all the while undermining her. Afterward, she likewise follows Bill around the evening time and sees him with that young lady. Yet, she actually expresses nothing to Bill since she hushed up in view of her youngsters. Also, she would have rather not left Bill due to her youngsters. Therefore, she realized that everything would influence her youngsters. Furthermore, she was burnt out on her significant other lying over and over. Additionally, she hangs tight for him every day at late evening. Presently she concludes that in the event that Bill can undermine her, why can't she? What's more, she gets to know the specialist in the medical clinic. She needs to get mental harmony since she was extremely vexed due to Bill. Yet, Bill knew nothing about this. He had gone so off the deep end in view of club games that he used to get cash from the cheats and go to play, with the expectation that he will win all the cash one day, yet it won't ever work out. He had such a lot of obligation on him that he didn't store the expenses of his kids. He used to consume the cash in the gambling club. Additionally, he was absent for a really long time. What's more, when Melanie called him, he didn't actually get her telephone. Their relationship planned to break, yet she would have rather not separated from Bill, since this happened to her even in youth. After her father's passing, her mother got hitched once more. In any case, she was unable to get a similar love as she got from her own father. She would have rather not allowed this to happen to her kids. Similarly, presently 4 years pass and they plan to get their subsequent home. Yet, how is it that this could happen on the grounds that they required cash for that? What's more, Bill had no cash as he was occupied with his life of tomfoolery. At some point, Melanie peruses a message from the young lady, who was Bill's companion who was with him at his college. She was calling him to her home when she followed him. Bill was going to take the young lady, yet she left the vehicle on the opposite side of the leaving region, since Melanie had the other key to the vehicle. Presently, when Bill returns home, he flies off the handle, since he realized that Melanie had done this. Also, he shouts at her and he was going to kill her, yet he doesn't do that. Melanie was exceptionally burnt out on his way of behaving. At some point, at the medical clinic where she worked, she takes the specialist's papers from that point that has his marks. What's more, she begins replicating them. Presently, for what reason was this occurrence, and what was happening to her, nobody knew. One night she dressed pleasantly in the joy of her new home. Furthermore, she invests a generally excellent energy with Bill, with the expectation that her life will change. However, nothing occurs along these lines. Afterward, the story is displayed from where it began. The bag that the young lady got, when she calls the police. Then tracked down here even before this. Police had found 2 such bags that had just a single individual's body parts. Presently, in the last bag when Bill's head is found. Then, at that point, the police figure out that it was Bill's carcass. Yes, Bill's body was in that bag, he was dead. Meanwhile, the police go to Melanie, who was residing at her parents' home. At the point when she figures out that Bill is dead. What's more, somebody killed him in such a terrible way, she goes off the deep end. Presently, when the police research this case. After this, a few unique things become visible. That what had occurred in their life some time back. Afterward, Melanie tells the police saying we plan to purchase another house. Furthermore, Bill was extremely disturbed, we had a battle. He likewise lifted his hand at me. Afterward, he pressed his things and went out. She says that I felt like I would have gone to his companion as usual. I would have rather not live with that man. That is the reason I chose to isolate from him, and subsequent to telling this to the police. Melanie comes to the specialist. In the emergency clinic she tells the specialist that I would rather not live with Bill any longer since he is definitely not a decent man. The specialist was shocked at her words in light of the fact that a couple of days prior, she let him know that I would rather not ruin my youngster's experience growing up. Then again, the police additionally begin exploring this case. Then the police figure out that anything Melanie was telling, she did this after Bill's vanishing. When the police search their home, they track down another bag, and subsequent to asking she says that we have all the more such bags. However, when Bill went out, he took the garments in a similar bag. Presently, the police likewise find out that a couple of days prior Melanie had likewise purchased a weapon. In any case, the police don't get that weapon from her home. In the meantime, after cross-examination, the shots in the weapon. Similar shots were found in Bill's body, which implies he was killed with this weapon. On this, Melanie expresses that while leaving he took every one of his things with him. Also, perhaps he took this firearm as well. Also, somebody killed him with his firearm. At the point when the police check the house still, they get no sign from the house. However, they likewise figured out that 2 days before Bill's vanishing, Melanie had purchased that firearm. On which she says that Bill had requested that I purchase this firearm. At the point when the police find Bill's missing vehicle, where there were blood marks, Melanie lets the police know that perhaps some cheat killed Bill. He used to acquire cash, yet the police think not. Furthermore, they say that how could somebody kill somebody so brutally for cash? Then, the dead body has additionally been attempted to stow away. This is crafted by an individual who used to loathe Bill without a doubt. What's more, he had a great deal of outrage in his heart. Bill's sister additionally felt that Melanie was the person who loathed him the most. Moreover, she tells the police all that was happening among Melanie and Bill. Then, at that point, the police's doubt turns out to be more strong. However, they actually had no verification. After this, they begin watching out for Melanie. At long last, following 2 months, the police gradually started to figure out everything. They figure out that before Bill's passing, Melanie had requested medication, yet they additionally determine from the examination that she had counterfeit marks of the specialist, since it was a particularly risky medication, that nobody used to give it to her without the specialist's mark. In the wake of gathering all the proof, the police make up a story that what had happened that evening. In the meantime, we figure out that evening there was no battle between them. She blended that medication in Bill's liquor, which made him oblivious. Also, in the first part of the day subsequent to sending her kids to school, in her own home, she killed him and took him to the restroom. She then cuts his dead body into pieces and filled it in the bag, with the goal that it would be more straightforward to get and take the dead body. After this, she took the dead body in the vehicle and tossed it into the ocean. Furthermore, in the wake of leaving the vehicle, she returned home. Afterward, she cleaned her entire house, however she overlooked her shoes, due to which the police additionally got proof against her. As a result of the blood blemishes on her shoes, they got similar imprints from Bill's vehicle. Presently, Melanie was gotten, after which her kids are likewise grabbed from her. Everybody was against her with the exception of her mother and father, who get her bail and delivered her. In any case, the police actually couldn't demonstrate that Melanie killed Bill. They had no strong proof. They additionally record her and the specialist's calls, yet they get nothing from them. Melanie played this game keenly, however the police were likewise not going to surrender. They pursue this case again 2 months. This time they had strong proof, and Melanie was currently condemned to life detainment. Yet Melanie doesn't move a smidgen from her assertion. She actually says, "I sat idle," regardless of whether the entire world called her a bag executioner. This story was Melanie's actual story. Here and there we are awesome. Yet, individuals drive us to turn out to be terrible, like Bill made Melanie so awful that she turned into an executioner. Furthermore, with this, the film closes here. Fearless.